Hey everyone, it's Laurie from Quick Scrap Craft. Today is a process video that's pretty quick, and it is my take on the February Challenge Yourself Scrapbook Challenge. The theme for February, because it's the month of love, is love. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get this finished in time for it to be shared on the Challenge Yourself blog page. However, that is linked down below because you'll need to go there in order to upload your take on the challenge and see inspiration from the rest of the design team. And this challenge started on February 7th, so you still have plenty of time to get your layout completed and uploaded there. I had hoped to have it up a little bit sooner than this, but I was having issues with my photo editing software. I use a web-based photo editor called Pixlr, and for some reason it does not like to work properly on my Chromebook, which is really frustrating because that's what I have to use, and it's super slow, and sometimes the photos don't show up, and I'm just looking at a blank canvas, and it's like I can't edit if I can't see the photo. So anyway, those issues aside, I finally got it all done, and so here we go. I'm using this photo that I took of myself, and I had finished scrapbooking, and when I went upstairs, I guess to use the bathroom or something, I noticed that I had some Holtz Distress Oxide spray on my nose. And so this isn't a typical love layout, but it was a photo of me doing something that I loved, which was scrapbooking. And so I figured I would make that fit into the love theme for this challenge. As long as you have a photo of yourself on the page, you can interpret the love theme however you want as well. But the whole point of Challenge Yourself is to get yourself in the photos and make sure that you are scrapbooking you on your layouts. This was actually a photo that I was going to add to my monthly pocket page, but because I needed something for this challenge, I was like, you know what? I can pull this out and give it its own story. So that's what I decided to do here. I also have a lot of January 2024 photos to go into a monthly pocket page, and I am going to have to get creative and probably like add some photo flaps and stuff to get all those on. So it was a good idea to take this one out, because then that's one less photo I have to worry about over there. So obviously at the top, I'm using 2 different pattern papers, and I did the tearing technique. These were just scraps of those papers. I know the top one is Simple Stories Flea Market. I can't remember what the bottom one was. If you guys know, let me know. These are just old things from my stash. The ledger paper, the ledger pattern paper that is underneath those, that's from a paper pad that I got from Joanne. So obviously that is no longer available. And then I also, because this is about scrapbooking, I was able to use some of the old Simple Stories She's Crafty collection. I think that's what it was called. I still have several of those chipboard embellishments in my stash. Somehow I ended up with like 2 packages of those. I don't know how. And I rarely scrapbook about scrapbooking. And some of the things that are in there are like thread and buttons, and there's a paper or a safety pin, but like I don't sew and I don't crochet. And so some of these I was like, when am I ever going to use these pieces? But instead of getting rid of them, I just decided to throw them on here and just make it work, right? So I've got a little mug of coffee or tea. I've got some buttons and some yarn, the ruler or the measuring tape, whatever it's properly called in sewing. And then I matted the photo, which is a 4x6, on some pink paper, some pink cardstock, which I believe was, I can't remember. I know it was with a Halloween collection. So if you guys go back to my process videos from last year where I was doing Halloween stuff, I'll probably tell you the manufacturer name in those videos. I also am using I guess a journaling spot that was just in my stash. It could have also been Simple Stories. It could have been Vicky Boutin. I don't really remember. And then there's a piece of pink pattern paper that I'm going to turn into a banner coming out from behind the photo. And these are all just scrap pieces from my stash. I'm kind of to that point right now in my scrapbooking where I want to use up a little bit more of my stash before I make any more purchases. And I will have to make more specific purchases for my February 2024 photos. I don't have those printed yet. but I will need to get on the ball with that. And then once I see what I have from those, I can figure out what other scrapbook supplies I do need. But I'm trying to really like be on a budget. It's not easy to continue spending money on hobbies when your paycheck is going down. So leave a comment if you can feel that. Let's see, what else do I have on here? So some of the other pieces, the crafty word, that's from the She's Crafty collection. I had to use some Elmer's glue to help stick that down because it's not really that adhesive-y anymore. And then I did cut some little bubbles, some bubble words. One says hi, one has a heart in it, which, you know, goes with along with love. There's some red and pink and hearts. Those were, I don't remember what the manufacturer, but they were just on like a piece of strip of paper that I had. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to cut these out and use them on here. And then I also have a Chamel sticker in pink that says you belong, and a Vicky Boutin sticker that says crazy love. And then I think a pink Chamel that says now and then. And I'm also adding in some possibly pink paisley enamel stickers that look like place markers on like Google Maps. I've got some blue gem stickers that were from my stash and some enamel hearts that were from something. But that's the fun of it. Like, yes, I have no idea where all this stuff came from. I don't know the manufacturers anymore, but I have it all in my stash, and it's all like different stuff. It's all different collections, all different manufacturers. It's kind of fun just figuring out how to put them all together. The true story is American Crafts, and I've had that in my stash for a while. And I did need to use some Elmer's glue on that. It goes down purple, but it does dry clear. Although as I'm looking at the layout right now, you can kind of tell where the glue was placed. It definitely leaves a little bit of a residue behind on certain colors and textures, but on like a pattern, it's just kind of going to blend into the pattern. But these letters, they need that because the adhesive doesn't last forever. And especially when you've got stuff in your stash that you've had for a long time, they're not going to be as sticky as they were when they were first made. And some of the stuff I have, especially those American Crafts puffy stuff, sometimes I get them and they don't have as much adhesive as they should have. So that's kind of frustrating. But definitely Elmer's glue has been a helpful thing to have on my scrap desk, which reminds me, I keep meaning to do like a tools to always have on your scrap desk thing. I need to write myself a note so I don't forget to do that. I find these days if I don't write it down, it's not going to get done, but then I have to remember to write it down. So it's kind of like a vicious circle. Let me know if you're in the same place in the comments. I'm also going to finish this up because there's some Distress Oxide spray on my nose in the picture. I'm going to add some Distress Oxide spray to this layout, and I'm going to use my favorite colors, Squeezed Lemonade and Kitsch Flamingo. I find that the Squeezed Lemonade splatters out a little bit better than the Kitsch Flamingo. I don't know why. The Kitsch Flamingo straw there is bent, whereas most of the other Distress Oxide sprays that I have, the straws are not bent. So I don't know if that's kind of the issue with the Kitsch Flamingo not giving as good of splatters as the other color. But if you know the inside scoop on how all that works, let me know in the comments. I hope that this video was inspiring for you and that you take a chance and enter the Challenge Yourself February challenge. There are only a few more of these left before the blog closes down, so don't miss out on your chance to win a cool prize. Follow me on social to see more. Bye.